What is up, my thrifty friends? Tabs here from the Urban Goddess Shop. Welcome back to my channel. If you are new, I'm a Canadian reseller. I'm a mom to two girls, a wife. I work in a hospital pharmacy part-time, and I sell used clothing. It's my jam. I love it. And here on YouTube, I share my journey and everything about my business. So today's video is a work with me. If you don't know what that is, this is where I'm going to keep you company and you're going to get shit done. This is the logo you are looking for on the thumbnail. Anytime you see that WWM, that means that this is going to be long form content. Get your tasks ready, sit, listen. I highly encourage you to chime in, share your opinion, your thoughts, anything you have. I'm here for it. I love your comments. I'm always eagerly waiting for them. I just love how we share with each other and grow and move forward with our businesses. We have a lot of topics and some really good ones, some updates that are happening, things that I've seen in the reseller world, and just good food for thought. I am excited to hear your thoughts on quite a few of them. Hear kind of what has been working for you. So today's topics are going to be reviewing a comment from last week, Poshmark bringing out bundle shipping for live shows, a few little hacks that I have in the Poshmark app to help with your business efficiency, a comment that I saw on Vinted and what my thoughts are, because I have talked about Vinted a little bit before, but I feel like this needs to be said again. Also, thermal printer, a comment I read on Instagram that hit me hard, had me doing some thinking, some personal thinking. Changes to the Posh Ambassador Program, what they changed, what are the new requirements, and and a few other extra ones. Okay, let's just jump right into this because we got lots to talk about. First is going to be my life and business update. So life-wise, we are getting ready to go to Winnipeg in a couple days. I am so excited. We're going to go visit my family, spend time with my mom. This is probably the last Christmas with my mom. I'm not going to cry right now, but yeah, so I'm really excited to go down there. We're all going as a family. It is an 8-hour drive. We're going to stay in a hotel for a couple nights and just cook supper, eat meals together, visit, watch some Christmas movies, and just enjoy the company of my mom and her husband. Yeah. Oh, and my brother, his wife, and their little girl. So we're a pretty small, tight-knit family on my side, and my grandma. My grandma will be there as well. And yeah, it feels good to have us all together. Okay, that's about all I'm talking about my life because I'm trying to keep it together at the beginning of the video. Business-wise, things have been steady. So sometimes I feel like maybe I have been focusing on a lot of negative stuff. And in the last week, I think one of the good things or positive things about my business is that I may not be making a lot of sales, but my ASP has been staying strong and I'm proud of that. So to me, that is a win. We are heading into Christmas. I'm going to be running a Boxing Day sale. If you didn't watch my last work with me video, I'm going to pop it up here. I chat about my Boxing Day strategy, how I run the sale. And if you want to do the same thing, it works. I find I get a good amount of sales doing this. And I can't see myself listing anything more until next year, just because we're about to be gone for almost 2 weeks coming up soon. We are going to be gone to Winnipeg. We're going to come home for a couple hours, head to my father-in-law's, spend a night there, and then we are heading out to the mountains. And we're just going to take some R&R time. So yeah, I will not be able to list anything. Lena's going to head home midweek between Christmas and New Year's, and she's going to do some of my shipping because she wants to be home to party with her friends on New Year's. And then yeah, we'll just kind of pick back up in the new year. I also had to batch a lot of content for YouTube because I was unsure on when I would be able to record videos in the next 2 weeks. I took it upon myself to prioritize my time, get organized, and batch content these videos. So this is number one of my batched content, and I hope you guys enjoy what I have coming out over the next 2 weeks because I think I picked some pretty good video topics. Okay, so life, business, it's busy, it's good, I'm okay, and I'm so excited to bring in 2023. First topic we're going to go over is last week's video. I want to know this, how many of you went into your sales and looked for like pending shipments that were sitting in limbo? I want to know how many people found packages that were in limbo, in that, shipped status, but you haven't been paid out for, that have been received or maybe possibly lost in the mail and Posh has to settle up with you. I would also like to know, did you put out your request to Posh? How did the conversation go? What was the outcome? And if you feel comfortable sharing, drop the amount that they owed you, because someone commented last week that they had $300 in sales that were sitting in that, like, I don't know, gray matter universe of Posh. And I was so shocked. Like, I was like, $300, that's crazy. So yeah, I would love to hear if you found some sales, what was the outcome when you talked to Posh, and what was the dollar value that you ended up getting back? Because I think I saved quite a few people quite a bit of money, and it was something that I've been doing. So as I come across these maybe little hacks that I do that I don't even realize I'm doing, I'm going to start noting them into these work with me videos, and there's probably other little tips that I do that would be beneficial to your business. So I'm going to do my best to talk about them. And if there's anything that you guys come across that you're doing on the app or in your business that brings value, whether it's monetary or just, plain old value to your business, drop it in the comments anytime. And I am happy to share it with everyone else, because like I say, we grow when we share with each other. Next, this is like the big topic, and there's a lot of discussion going on about this. It is Poshmark introducing bundled shipping. Bundled shipping, to Posh Live Shows. This is a feature we've been waiting for. They came out with Posh shows, when was it? Like back in October, beginning of October. It is December 14th right now, and it is December 14th right now as I'm recording this video, and we just got it. So it took about 2 months, I think, for them to get it together, but I kind of feel like they didn't hit the nail on the head. You know what I'm saying? In the US, packages that are over £5, so when the buyer pays for shipping on the initial bundle, in the US, I think it's 667, no, 7, what the heck is it? I just did a video on it. If you haven't watched it, this is the video on the shipping. Anyways, if your package weighs over £5, between 6 and 10 pounds, the overcharge is between $4.50 and $22.50. In Canada, if your package is 3 to 5 kilograms, you're going to owe an additional $1 to $5. So it's definitely a lot less in Canada, but we pay a lot more initially for our postage, where we're paying like $13.49, I think. But in the US, for a 10-pound package, you guys are paying an additional $22.50. That is crazy. That's crazy. I think this is causing some trouble for bigger resellers that have been doing, liquidation through Posh Live Shows. And I've seen some people that have been quiet on Whatnot, for the last month or two, popping up with shows now because they don't want to eat the cost of the shipping. And I don't blame them. If you're running a show of 50 items and you're turning a profit of, we'll say $200 a show. So if you made $200 in 1 hour, but you had to take, and that's without your cost of goods, and then you had to turn around and take, $22.50 out of that for each bundle, and say you have 3 large bundles in your show, you're now taking over $60 out of your proceeds to pay for overweight shipping. I don't know. I don't think deflecting that extra charge for the bundle shipping to the seller was the way to go. And that's the honest truth. I think if you don't sell big bundles or you're not a volume seller, you probably won't care as much, because if I was selling a bundle of 2 pieces, we'll say for $150, and I had to pay $22.50 for extra shipping, I would probably do it because I'm making a lot more. But for people that are doing low ASP, more volume, and doing multiple bundles in a show to multiple people, I think that this is going to add up. I don't know. What are your thoughts on this? Does this affect you? I know a lot of people watching don't give two hoots about live shows and have zero intention of doing them, but I do know that there are a group of people that are doing them, and this has become a part of their business. I just don't know how, like, I already questioned profit margins on live sales or on live shows doing lower ASP items. And after this, I am really questioning. And actually, one reseller, Ashley Wheeler, piped up in her Instagram story, and she said she had a live call with people at Poshmark headquarters in the US. They asked her what her thoughts were, because she sold on Whatnot quite a bit before Posh came out with their live shows. And she shared this. She said, yes, I'm all for bundling, but don't put that onto the seller, because she said that's not the solution to this. Like, the solution would be us, if you're going to do live shows, having the option to put the weights of the pack of each item, kind of like what we're doing with Whatnot, into each listing, and then Posh calculating the shipping label cost and charging that to the seller. On Whatnot, and I'm just using them as an example because they're the other live auction website that I've sold on, I'm not responsible for overweight. I have to weigh each item quickly when I'm listing them, and they calculate that. The buyer is paying a shipping label based on the weight of each item in the bundle. It like kind of seems harder to do shipping there just because it's a little bit more steps. You do have to reweigh your packages and then enter in the dimensions of your package, but it's pretty precise. I've never had a package weigh more than what they estimated the package would weigh, and therefore the buyer paying the appropriate shipping costs. So yeah, I don't blame these sellers, and I'm happy she brought it up. She tagged Poshmark in it, and she said, like, she had one or two more shows. I think she has a couple more shows to finish out December, but she's reconsidering if this is going to work for her business, and she may be going back to Whatnot. It's not that Posh live shows weren't working for her and her business, but having to eat this additional cost on each bundle, and if she had 5 big bundles in a show, that's over $100. That's a lot of money on top of the 20% commission that they're taking. So yeah, I would love to know what your guys' thoughts. If you have any other solutions for this, maybe there's something that I'm missing. I think the best solution would be for people, when you're putting your items or loading them, like adding them to your live show, that you would be requested to do a weight for them. And that's exactly what we're doing in Whatnot. And I think that would fix that problem and then bounce that over shipping cost back to the buyer. But that's not Poshmark's ways. Poshmark's ways is charging the seller for the overweight shipping. I don't know. I don't know. And okay, so one more thing. I mean, obviously living in Canada, it's not as bad, right? So for us, if we have a 5 kilo package, which is about 10 pounds, we're only paying $5, which is, I used to complain about that. Like, I was like, I'm not paying $5 to ship a 10 pound package. But now looking at what you guys are paying in the US, that's a quarter. That's like less than a quarter of what you guys are paying. I was just so blown away when I saw how much my American friends are paying for overweight shipping. That's crazy. And I bet you, okay, here's some, like, I'm just thinking out loud. I bet you that's why they cracked down on overweight packages in the US. That's probably why they didn't crack down in Canada, because it's, you know, it's not that big of a difference. But in the States, they're losing that $22.50 every time someone sends an overweight package. All right, I'm gonna end the talk on this one. I don't think I'm gonna get anywhere talking to myself about this, but yeah, I don't think that was the right way to go about the bundling. And I think a lot of people are going to start deferring doing the live shows. Okay, and one more thing, I know I said I was going to talk about, but one more thing. Anna reached out to me and she actually said, she's like, do you think Posh is shooting themselves in the foot on purpose? Like maybe they realize live shows aren't the thing. They're not, working out to be as profitable as they had hoped. It's really dragging down the app. Do you think they were like doing all this, puts this whole package thing on purpose so that less people are doing it and they're just going to phase it out after beta? And there's a sliver of me that would be like, well, that would all make sense. Like, why? How come they just can't figure this all out? Anyways, whatever. I don't work for them. I don't have a business degree, and I think I already invest way too much time questioning why things on Posh don't run the way I think they should. Okay, let's go on to the next one. This one is more just of a little hack that I do in my business, and I feel like a lot of people will know this, but I'm hoping to reach those few people that didn't know that this was available. So last week, someone commented they would like to be able to save their cost of goods without the buyer seeing it. So I'm going to clarify a few things. Just to clarify, for anyone else that has the same question, the original price is supposed to be the MSRP. So what did the item retail for in the store? Your listing price is going to be, what are you asking for? What are you wanting to sell the item for? Now, if you scroll down to the bottom, there's an additional details section. This is a private section that only you can see. There is a SKU place there and a cost price. This is where I put my inventory numbers. So I have an individual or unique inventory system. And I also put my cost of goods in there. This is like an easy way for you to record it. It also shows up in your My Sales report when you print that. I don't know if you print it monthly, quarterly, yearly, whatever it is. It will also show up in there. There is an additional details, and here's my little pro tip for that section. I like to put in there if the item is a consignment item, who is the consignment client. I will also use that category to write personal. If it is a personal item that I am selling, I note that in there. Then when I do my sales report at the end of the year, I delete out all the lines that are personal item lines, because you don't have to pay taxes if you're selling your own personal items. And this is just what my accountant told me. You should talk to your own accountant, ask them what to do. But yeah, that's my easy way of filtering out my sales report at the end of the year. Little pro tip. Okay, moving along, we're going to talk about Vinted. So I don't know if Vinted is available in the US, but it hit the Canadian market about a year ago and was like fire. People were selling on it. They liked it. There was zero fees. And it just seemed like a new up and coming app. Now, I was asked often if I was going to start listing on there, why I wasn't selling on Vinted, and I just didn't feel like it was a good fit for me. Poshmark was producing, they had decent customer service, shipping was easy, I didn't have to arrange it myself, and it just like a few factors where I was like, you know what, I'm just going to stay on Posh. But something just didn't sit right with me. I also remembered reading somewhere that they didn't allow commercial sellers. I definitely am a commercial seller. I am a professional seller. I am not a hobby seller. I'm not just selling my own items. And I just didn't see how this would really work for me in my business. What I read was, and this was in a Facebook group, the seller said Vinted owes them $2,000. She states, I've been selling on Vinted for a year. I've made 200 plus sales with 5-star reviews. I was warned by Vinted about commercial selling back in the summer. So I scaled listing and time on app way back. I noticed at the beginning of November that I hadn't received any deposits from Vinted since the beginning of October, but had been selling regularly. So they were still allowing her to sell, but they weren't paying her out, which I think is just crazy. She said, I contacted them multiple times and they blamed their credit card partner Stripe. That's their payment partner or whatever. Multiple emails were exchanged between us and they couldn't figure out how to pay me. I independently contacted Stripe, who said that Vinted is in charge of all client verification and payment scheduled. Fast forward to the beginning of December and Vinted shut down my account with almost $2,000 in unpaid money that they owe me. Okay, I'm a commercial seller, shut down my account, but Can they legally steal $2,000 in revenue from me? And she says, help. So I didn't actually comment on this because I don't know what her legal rights are in this type of situation. I mean, I imagine if they had sent you out a warning, they weren't paying you out, you continued to sell. I don't know. I think maybe they could because they own the app, but I don't know. Like I said, I'm not a lawyer, but here are my thoughts. As she stated, Vinted has a no commercial rule for zero commission, I believe. So the reason why they offer zero commission is because it's just for everyday people. Now, they also have like triggers for, they call it money laundering. So this would be people, I think in their eyes, that are reselling as a business, but maybe not claiming the income. I did think, like, I thought I read somewhere that you could sign up as a seller, you would pay commission, and I think you had to provide them with some like business information for them to approve it. And this is just verifying that you're actually paying taxes and you're not just, you know, pocketing the cash or whatever. But I never pursued it. And when I kind of quickly looked this up, I couldn't find those details again. If you are a reseller, you need to know this. They have the right to suspend your account without notice for breaking their terms and conditions. I read this in their terms and conditions. Being a commercial seller like myself, right, I would be taking the risk that they would suspend my account. And honestly, if you are selling on there, I would recommend not. I know you probably make a couple sales, you make some money here and there, but this is how it could go. You don't know at what point they're going to start holding your funds. You don't know at what point they're going to stop paying you out. And you don't know at what point they're just going to kick you off the app. For an app that doesn't really support resellers, my personal advice, don't sell on it. There are a ton of other apps that you can sell your items on, and Facebook Marketplace in Canada has zero fees. You can also offer shipping on there. Maybe that would be a better option. I just thought I would kind of bring it up in this video because I was shocked. Like $2,000, that's a substantial amount of money. I couldn't imagine if like eBay or Poshmark owed me $2,000. I would be shook. I was shook when I read her comment. Yeah, crazy. If you have any other experiences with Vinted or anything that you want to share, drop in the comments. I'm not sure if she watches these videos, but yeah, maybe you have something that could help her out. Or maybe you work in legal aid. Does she have any rights? Let's help her out. Okay, next is a question. So 2 years ago, I switched over to a thermal printer. I bought a Rollo. It was the corded Rollo. They hadn't come out with the wireless one yet. And I love it. I've shipped over 2,000 items using it. It's amazing. It has never given me issues, except for one time I bought these knockoff labels. It did not like them and it didn't print properly. But now I just buy my Rollo brand labels. But yeah, I really want to get a cordless one. I want to get a wireless one because right now I have to have it connected to my laptop. And I kind of want to start using that area for something else. I have a laptop that's just always set up there. I flip it open, I open it, I'm able to print my labels, but I want to start doing this from my phone. So I am considering purchasing a second Rollo, which would be the wireless version, but I'm also open to any suggestions that you guys have. So if you have a wireless thermal printer that you absolutely love, I would love to know what is the brand and why do you love it? Also, do you have any technical issues? Have you had any issues with it? Because I have read that some brands, there's like some programming issues or like little glitches and stuff. I will honestly say my Rollo, I have had zero problems, zero. It is so user-friendly, and that's really what I'm looking for again, is just another easy to use thermal printer. So yeah, if you have any recommendations, I would love to hear. Also, I have reached out to Rollo to see if they would work with me or partner up, but they actually don't currently work with Canadians. They are US based only. So that kind of strokes it out. Otherwise, I think I would just hit them up for a wireless printer and then do like a promo for them on YouTube or Instagram or something. But yeah, nothing yet with the Canadians. So shoot me your ideas. I'd love to hear. All right, next topic. This is the one that really got me thinking and kind of reflecting over the last couple months. Global Collective Co. She had a recent post that really hit hard for me and really made me do some thinking. So she said, just because you're having a bad month doesn't mean your business sucks. We can't win 100% of the time. We all have bad days, a bad week, a bad month, even a bad year. And basically she's saying you got to look at, like, you have to look at the big picture instead of looking at today or this month or, this quarter. She's saying, look at how much you've grown over the last year, how much you've grown over the last few years that you've been reselling. And this hit home for me because the last couple months I've been all over the place and I've really been like, man, this business sucks. What am I going to do? And I know lots of you guys are feeling the same way because I read it in the comments and it breaks my heart because even though I say like this sucks right now, I in my heart know that it's going to get better and know that I'm just gonna have to work a little bit harder, and not necessarily harder, but maybe smarter, finding new brands, growing my ASP, things like that. But it was just putting into perspective that sometimes you have bad periods, but if I look at my growth from, even a year ago to where my business is today, it's grown so much. So even though the last, couple months have just seemed, maybe even the last 8 months have seemed a little bit off with goods and, highs and lows, I think all in all, if I look at my business, it's grown. So I just wanted to put it out there that we all just kind of have to look at it in perspective, and maybe this year is a bad year, and you know what, maybe a little bit of next year is going to be a bad year too as the economy starts to recover and hopefully starts to curve up. But it doesn't mean that this business sucks. It just means there's going to be highs and lows, and she's right, you can't win 100% of the time, even though we want to, and sometimes it just feels like we're on that winning streak and things could never fall. They do. So behind every rainstorm is a rainbow. And I think we just got to wait right now for things to improve in the reselling market. And for some people it is. So it's just really dependent on everyone's business. But yeah, thank you so much for posting that. I'm not sure if she watches these videos, but you hit me. You definitely knocked some sense into me. And you're right. I am ready for 2023, and it hasn't been as bad as I think it has been sometimes. All right, next topic. Oh my gosh, I feel like I'm just going through these. So next one, there's been changes to the Posh Ambassador program. So Posh Ambassador 1, Posh Ambassador 2. My thoughts on it are, I don't know if I see a huge impact on my business. We're going to go over the benefits of each one, and yeah, I think what I have heard is that it does boost your closet in the algorithm. And someone commented, I think a week or two ago, saying that she was striving to become a Posh Ambassador and she was going to let me know if it had a direct impact on sales. And she said the funny thing was, when she became Posh Ambassador, she said, I started getting more likes, more follows, like activity just increased on my app, or on the app for me. And I do believe that. I do think that they definitely push us a little bit more in the algorithm. I don't know it to what extent. I feel like also people that are P1 and P2 ambassadors tend to just be a little bit better like business owners than people that are just starting out. You probably have some processes in place, you know what's selling, right? You've made sales. So I don't know if that plays into it as well, but yeah, okay, let's break this down. So the benefits to being a Posh Ambassador 1 is you get a badge on your account. You get daily auto follows, which I'm not sure what that means. I don't know if they like basically give follows to new people on the app. I'm not quite sure. I know a lot of people have been talking about like fake user accounts following them. Maybe that correlates. I don't know. They also state you get featured to new users. You get access to Posh Insider, which I didn't know. I thought Posh Insider was for everyone else. So that to me would be a perk. Access to Posh affiliate campaigns. I don't find those of huge value, but to each their own. Co-host in-app parties. Yeah, you do have to be an ambassador to do that. I think it's fun when you first start, but as you become more seasoned of a seller, it's you're doing a lot of work with no pay, and I don't necessarily see sales coming out of hosting the party. So to me, it's not a huge benefit. You can share your expertise, and I think that would be like hosting the in-person events locally. And you can bulk upload. Okay, so I have a question about bulk uploading. Is anyone using it? I know it came out, I think it came out last year. I've never even tried to use it. And I remember Danica Thrifty Stew tried it, but I don't think she's currently using it. So I would love to know if you use the bulk upload and how it works and what your thoughts are, because maybe I need to start using that. Maybe that is a perk and I don't even know about it. All right, let's go into Posh Ambassador 2. First point was free or discounted tickets to Posh events. I guess the discounted tip is ticket to Posh Fest, but I still found it to be expensive. So I don't know. I feel like that could be a little bit better. I think you get free tickets to Posh live events in the community, but I honestly thought they just handed tickets out to everyone. So I didn't think you had to be a Posh ambassador to get a free ticket to an event. They do state you get priority support, which I think is good. And to be honest, I don't necessarily have too many issues with the support I get when I need support. It usually is within a day or two, which is kind of what they state. So I feel like for Posh, that's reasonable. I hear people waiting a lot more. Now, here's my thing. I think it's great that as a Posh 2 ambassador, we get priority support, but what about the people that are like absolutely new to the app, like buyers that have an issue and request? I feel like priority support, I think they just need to overall improve the support. Everyone should have support within 24 hours, because it's great that I get priority, but as new buyers, if they don't get good support, they're not going to continue to buy on the app. And that's why I think that this shouldn't just be reserved for us. I think like top customer service should just be, a standard or a bar that they set for themselves. But that's just my 2 cents on that. They also state you get global in-app promotion, which I think is completely useless because we can't cross-border ship. So if cross-border shipping was here and they were promoting my closet and my stuff, in the US, that'd be amazing. But for them to do global in-app promotion, I don't see what the benefit is. No one else from another country can purchase from me. And it doesn't matter if I have a bunch of people from another country following me if they can't buy from me. So I feel like that one kind of misses the mark. And then the other thing they said, exclusive live events. Again, I'm kind of bitter about this one because they never come to my province. There is not many provinces in Canada and they never come to Saskatchewan. So this does not affect me, okay? I wish it did. I wish they came to Saskatchewan, but they never do. So yeah, that one doesn't really affect me either. So I wish, my wish is that the Posh Ambassador program would have more value to us. And I don't know, like I've said before, I think maybe like a tiered discount on fees would be great. Maybe just good support to everyone. I think, Posh Fest, heavily discounted tickets, I think there's still quite a bit of money, but I don't know. I don't know what they could come up with, but I feel like they don't give a lot of value for what we do. So the requirements now to reach this are 5, and to reach this is for, you only have to do it once a year now, and you qualify for the entire year. So last year, you used to have to qualify quarterly, and it was actually quite a bit, but I think it also really narrowed down who got into Posh 2 Ambassador because you had to sell so many listings every quarter. Now you only have to sell these listings in an entire year. So you're going to get people into these, Posh Ambassador 2 that really aren't big resellers, but I guess it opens up to people maybe who sell luxury that don't make a lot of sales, but sell high dollar stuff. I'm sure they have a reason for it. But anyways, here's the requirements. Number 1, 5,000 community shares. Number 2, you have to sell 50 listings. Number 3, maintain a 4.7 star rating. Number 4, less than 3-day average shipping. Number 5, you have to have listed 365 listings. And as I said, the big change is that you only have to do this once a year now, and it applies for the entire year. That is my understanding. I could be wrong. Now, what I would love to hear is, what are some thoughts that you guys have? What are some things that they could bring to the program that would be beneficial to us? Maybe we could all send them an email to Manish on, and in a lighthearted, positive manner, but things that would be beneficial to the ambassador program that would actually have like a good benefit to us as sellers. Because as much as, if we all left the app, they would, I don't know, would they care? They still have a ton of people selling on there. But I think resellers bring a quality of items to the app that, hobby sellers don't always necessarily bring. Sometimes, people that only sell a couple items in their closet a year, they don't do nice packaging. They don't have the customer service. They don't ship the items on time. There's other issues, and I'm sure big resellers do this stuff too. But I feel like as resellers, we have processes in our business that give good experiences to people that buy. But okay, that's just my 2 cents. I would love to hear any recommendations you have, and I'm thinking of putting an email together myself to send some suggestions on. All right, next up, someone mentioned in a comment if I thought all these big brands offering resale is having an impact on resale of those brands from resellers. Oh my gosh, that was like a tongue twister. I really like this question. Another viewer mentioned she found Lulu leggings for a better price on Lulu's used site than when she had looked on eBay and Poshmark. And I thought that was also very interesting. She was looking for a specific one. And this got me thinking, are these brands doing their own resale going to be the end of resale for us? And can we compete with them? Now in Canada, Lululemon, which is crazy because it's a Canadian brand, but in Canada, Lululemon isn't offering that resale program. Not that I could see, and I just went on their website and looked. So correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think it's available in Canada yet. I do agree to this point, maybe not right now, but I think as these brands continue to grow their footprint on the resale market and buyers get used to finding more inventory on there, like finding items they're looking for, people start sending more items in for credit or to put towards, their purchases. This may impact us on those brands. Now, here's the good news. Only a select few are offering this program. And yeah, they're brands that are coveted. They're brands that we all love to sell, but they're not the be all end all, right? There's a lot of other brands that we can source, that we can find, that will still bring us a good value, and I'm sure are actually more readily available than we know. And I do think that these brands may have an impact on the resale market for those brands, but I don't think it's going to be the end of reselling, because I don't think every brand has the infrastructure to create these types of programs and run these types of programs. But I do think there's a lot of brands that we'll be able to find that will still do well. So I think that it's just going to make us become better at selling and better at sourcing. And I mean, knowledge is power, right? I always say that. Knowledge is power. We just have to get better educated. Like for me, Aritzia and Lulu are just easy sales. Like I can find them. They're easy flips. I know they're going to sell. They hold value. If they changed and the resale programs, started to have an impact on my business, I think I just have to find other brands. I'm sure there's other brands that I pass over all the time that I don't even know have the value that they do. So yeah, I like these questions. I think they're good food for thought. I'd love to hear what you guys think, like good or bad. What are your thoughts on these big companies doing resale, and how do you see them impacting us, over the next few years? All right, this is the topics that I had for this video. But I want to end this with a shout out, with a positive thing about our business. What is something good that's happening right now? I guess it doesn't have to be your business. It could be your personal life, but let's end this on like a positive shout out. So my positive shout out on my business, and it's actually no, it would be reseller. I just got the information for my year-end recap video, and I have grown my ASP, and I don't want to share it because I want you guys to watch the video, but my ASP, even though I'm having, a bad month right now, my ASP is higher than when I started at the beginning of the year. And I'm going to say I've probably added on $15 to it, to my average sale price. That is a huge win for me. I think sometimes we have to see these numbers, we have to figure them out to realize where we are. So here's my tip. If you want to figure out what your average sale price is right now, you can go into the Poshmark Seller Insight feature, I think it's called, and go to the about you. What are your gross sales for the year? And so that's like the total of what you sold everything for, right? And then how many items have you sold this year on Poshmark? Divide it and calculate your ASP. If you know what your average sale price was for last year, did you grow? Have you grown your ASP? Is there something in your business that you have improved on since January of last year? If you can't shout out anything, I want you to reflect on that. All right, I am heading out of here. I can't wait to hear from you guys in the comments. I am wishing you all many sales, happy holidays, and I'll see you next time. Bye.